Out here in the desert, man, anything's possible. That's why I moved out here. You gotta free your mind.
Okay.
If you know me, you know I have a certain way of working with others and introducing them to the nonsense in my head. Johnny's a good friend and a longtime fraternizer of the crazy. Super creative, you know, always fun to work with. And I got this project that is right up his alley. I don't actually know what we're building yet, but I got some ideas. So stoked you finally got out here.
Anytime you come into Ian Roussel's full custom garage, it's always like, okay, what am I getting myself into?
So this might look familiar to you,
Yes.
but it's not what you think it is.
It's a bug. What do you mean it's not what I think it is?
But it's not a bug.
It's not a bug? That looks like a bug to me.
Yes, but it's not gonna be. You kind of have a take on things like no one I've ever worked with. You know, you got that unique cartoon brain. So this is just a start. I don't want it to be a bug. I want it to be some cartoon, custom cartoon hot rod. We played twice with Volkswagens,
Yeah.
and I want it to be a little different.
Okay.
I want supercalifragilistic expialidocious. That's what I'm looking for this time.
Okay.
For me, it's all about getting people out of the place they're comfortable, where they exist, and into the land of the free thinkers. Normally, I'd ask you to just sketch something, right?
Right.
Okay, but we're gonna do a little more sculpting this time.
Okay.
Less of this and more of this.
I'm down for that. I'm down to get out of my comfort zone and, you know, ditch the pens and pencil.
I'm thinking, you know, wild show car,
Low.
more art than function.
Chopped.
All about the look,
Crazy.
presentation.
Different.
Favorite thing about working with Johnny is the end result is always something outlandish, you know, true cartoon proportions.
Meeting Ian many years ago on our first collaboration, which was the Johnny 5, which was taking a drawing that I had done, and then getting an opportunity to be called back to work on something that was his, and then take a drawing that we did in-house and create something off that, to now, which is, you know, car number 4. Who knows what it's gonna be?
Of course, I have some things in mind, but I don't want to reveal all my cards just yet. I want to get Johnny thinking. We've been around the block a few times. I'm looking for new territory, but it's got to start somewhere. And I know I want this windshield down low, like maxed out. Like when you see this thing coming down the road, you're like,
Dang, what is that?
or what's wrong with that guy? And I got a bunch of saw blades. Let's get to it. Self-leveling goggles. Just keep the bubble in the center.
So I have to look cross-eyed?
Look at that, it's art.
Oh, there you go. And you don't want to mark that with anything?
Can we just mark it?
I gotta say, it's pretty darn satisfying to be cutting that up.
You know what the hard part is?
Putting it back together?
Exactly. You got $1? You got any money?
What do you want $1 for?
Dollar bill, yo.
I got a 5.
That works for me. Thanks. See the man at the door. I'll show you the.
It's the oldest magician trick in the book.
I want to make the windshield the old dollar bill trick. That much.
Okay.
I don't know where the dollar bill windshield size ever came from, but I can only think that I heard of it at some car show. You know, the old guys talking about a chop. Man, that was so radical. His windshield was smaller than a dollar bill. You got a dollar bill size windshield, right? Somewhere in that direction. It's pretty interesting to look out of. You're not seeing a lot. You go smaller than that. I mean, that's where I want to be. That's pretty substantial chop. That's not messing around.
I mean, it looks freaking cool.
I think I want to see it with the mystery element, the thing you weren't expecting.
Okay, what is that?
Aha!
What is that?
It's a shower stall.
Looks like an amusement park ride.
I really like to fill my collaborators with confusion and deprive them of the common sense methods of car fabrication.
What is this thing again?
I don't know, it was out in the desert. It's got like, you know, charisma, right?
It could be something.
It's a fine piece of fiberglass, is it not?
This is the classic thing that Ian does. He'll bring in some weird thing and go, hey, Johnny, what are we doing with this?
I'll rotate the top forward.
Part of me was kind of hoping for another bubble. You know, bubbles are cool. That isn't cool, at least from what I can tell.
What's with all the chuckling? I'm serious now.
No, I'm just saying this is, you know, yeah.
What part of this don't you understand?
Oh, man. It's either, yeah. Why should I have thought anything else would happen? This is, okay. Let's see, what are we doing?
Yeah, baby, yeah. So now sit back and look at this. Does it look like a bug anymore?
No.
Oh no, soldier down. We're losing Johnny. I better reel him back before we veer too far off course. Here, this might sweeten the deal a little. These are a little bigger than the stock bug rims.
Yeah. Those are fatties.
I said it before, said it a million times. There's nothing like the wheel and tire combo to shine that guiding light on any project.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Maybe
We're stacking parts. It's starting to have a feeling.
fenderless, I like the wide tire. Or are we doing fenders?
We're 3 steps into this. I already fleeced you for $5. Let's not rush things.
Very true, you did.
We still got to change everything.
Right.
But other than that, we're on a pretty good course. Ladies and gentlemen, we've taken the first step in a journey of 1,000 miles. Next stop, Envisioning Central. Nothing like a good night's sleep to clear the air, give you a fresh perspective. We're on the same page. This thing's got to be extreme, and extreme means more. Looking at it at this point, we know it's got to go lower. Oh, look, now you're getting into the small change.
Yeah, I got smart, you took my 5.
Oh, yeah, no, we still got plenty of room. We still got 2 inches to go. Now you've done it. So we gotta cut the roof in the center and widen it 3 inches to match up. While you're doing that, I'm gonna set up the van roof for a 3-inch narrowing. My favorite styling period for cars is that Art Deco, right? The waterfall from the top to the fenders to the ground. That's why I started with this bug, because it has the building blocks for that style. I don't think we're gonna end up with like a masterpiece just from the get-go, right? We're gonna look at something, we're gonna take it back, it's gonna be up and down, side to side. It's gonna be a mess, it's gonna be fun. Who cares what it looks like along the way?
I must have missed it.
Ready? Chaos, disorder. You know what? We might use this back window flange when we widen that front windshield.
Oh, yeah.
Same molding, right?
Yeah, the arc is the same too on the back.
Looking at this rear flange, it looks well within the realms of possibility. I mean, we all know there's been much more absurdities than that in this shop. And that's 3. One last look from afar. Looks good. Aha! Roll this up and out a bit.
Look at that. That's pretty close.
Prepare to weld. It's textbook, right? It's the old back flange in the front trick, the upside down and backwards trick. Same as the flip it, slap it, reverse it trick. You'd be surprised at how often it works. Say, that's quite the chop top.
Yeah, dude.
Just what the doctor ordered.
For sure.
It's our windshield, sir.
I think it looks perfect.
The windshield height is pretty much where we're at. So just getting that in place. Do we like that front view? All right, let's move on. The big benefit of fiberglass in this project is we're going to be able to build, cut back, without ever actually having like a final surface represented for just about till the end of the project. So just envisioning all the time. And I love the wedge chop in the door frame now.
Right?
We'll jig it up, we can glass it right there. And once it's one piece again, we can always shift it a little bit more. But I see a couple big hurdles to jump with the back of this car. This is pretty complex. Johnny and I got the roof all glassed up. It's still in a pretty raw state, but it's darn strong. My plan is to keep plowing forward with our loose mock-up and see what happens when the dust settles. The top was my first piece, that I wanted to work with. I got some other fiberglass also. Check out these two rear fenders. Legit.
Oh, wow.
With the flare, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to pretty much like reshape the whole back of this thing. This was a quick mod. This is way dimensional and nothing lines up.
For sure. For sure. We got to keep that flow coming back the way it's going to look right.
Johnny says he's got some ideas for the rear of this thing, and this is a free mock-up zone. All mock-ups, all the time. All ideas are welcome.
All right.
Uh-huh.
And you like the old, ambulances? The doors were on an angle. When they hinged, they kind of hinged outward.
Oh, yeah, so they slammed
There was an
open.
angle
Yeah.
to the back of those ambulances. These will be one piece that'll tuck in through that fender gap.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
bottom
so
line.
the whole back of the vehicle is open. I love this.
Yeah.
It's like flowing away. Like that?
That is cool.
Johnny's idea solves a few things, namely the largeness of the rear of the engine. It helps with the angle of the car. It looks a little more aggressive leaning forward like that. The next thing is to define a few of the lines in the rear. By cutting that apart and reconfiguring it, we're gonna have to come up with some side panels to blend it all together. You wanna get on your head leveling gear, or do you think we could just freelance this?
I think we probably freelance it.
You can put your levels on.
I've worn those goggles enough.
You can put your levels on it anytime.
You got your laugh, pal.
I like it. If you could do that on mirror image on the other side, we're onto something. The whole thing here is to just get this into one piece, get rid of all the big holes and missing parts of the car, get a clear side profile, and then move forward. But looking at the rear fenders, I can see we've got way bigger fish to fry. This is a perfect example of how this car is gonna come together. We're gonna try to cut right to the chase. Quick mock-up, make it stick, move on. Back forward again. Right there, sir. Let me cut a few strips of metal and then we'll clamp this.
Okay.
This is where this design will depart from that 30s styling, which was very sensible, very glamorous. We have all of these shapes that have been formed. We're moving them around and they're gonna have to be reoriented. The way that the tires will be arranged with the fender lip. This is going into that edgy, weird, definitely looking forward from the 1930s. Interesting how messy that all looks. To create this armature, like the old suit of armor with the faceted panels, the whole idea is creating a compound curve in the simplest terms. That way we can lay this fiberglass on and keep it suspended while it cures. I just want to get a representation of this arch on the fender, and I want to get it to the nose, because you think I had some screwball parts so far. Wait till you see what I'm thinking about for the front.
All right.
Another fine mess you've gotten us into, Johnny.
Dude.
That is substantial. That's a 6-inch wider fender.
When you started doing it, I'm like, I don't, how's it gonna work?
Interesting. What you can do with some foil tape, an old fender, 500,000 screws, and some spray paint. I want to do all the fiberglass in the same realm, the same time period. Let's mock up this front. I got a pretty wild idea for the front, but the flared fenders are definitely a part of it.
This whole time, the way we've been looking at this, I'm like, what are we gonna do at the front? What's going on here?
Time's upon us. I gotta spill the beans and reveal the rest of my mystery elements. Ta-da!
Yeah, that's just Volkswagen. They were getting the Volkswagen out of it.
You know that saying where how can you find your mind unless you've lost it first?
Okay.
So how can you build something that's not a Volkswagen without having a Volkswagen first?
He's messing with me. He's telling me, listen, you gotta lose your mind, and I'm trying to lose my mind. This is just a base. Settle down, Johnny. Everything's gonna be fine.
Look at these fine units, right? This way of working isn't for the faint-hearted envisioner. It's gonna take mucho gusto to see through to the end result.
I mean, there's definitely some good jumping off point shapes like we did to the back end.
Now, I know what you're saying. As much of a timeless classic design, and just what more could you want out of that VW front end? I want a little different. Check this out. I got these. First piece is from Speedway.
Here we finally get a piece of hot rod parts that we're gonna put on this thing. Now we're going where I was hoping we were gonna go.
Now, does that look like a PT Cruiser? No. Does it look like a Volkswagen Bug? No. You know, I want this thing to be like total departure from the Bug look. Look how it fits the curve of the VW.
It does. I
hood.
mean, it does have some really cool shaping to it. I mean, this really does. The flow of this really flows with what we've created.
The same sedan delivery, it had this hood, which is a totally different style. But I just chopped the top of this off. See, these two, they could be spliced to go together. It could work. This is why I never showed Johnny or talked to him about changing the grill, because I wanted this kind of wake-up call, right? He's like, where is this going? That's what I was looking for. I don't know, Johnny, you tell me.
It definitely goes more towards that old sedan delivery look that we kind of captured in the back.
Yeah, exactamento.
I mean, I'm totally seeing this.
I like the direction this grill puts us in, but it's gonna be a tough match to make it convincing. I love this layback of the grill. Like, I love this attitude, and I love this attitude.
For sure, for sure. It just goes, whoa!
Yeah, 100%. If there's one thing we both agree on, it's that this grill has to move backwards into the car, rearward.
For sure.
This is a big point in the stance of the car, right? We don't want the grill to look stuck on. Something about having the grill pretty close to the front of the fenders just gives it that actual car look. Let's see what happened. What do you think, further back?
I think so.
Now she's setting in place. How do you feel about that? We got these fenders. Let's splice them in and figure out how it's gonna work. Because right now it does. It looks like a Volkswagen with a grill stuffed on the front.
Right.
And I ain't got time for that.
The more we cut out of it, the cooler it starts to look.
Both of these can just kind of be like masked right on there for now.
All right. There's the beauty of all this customization is stuff is happening organically on its own that's showing up.
What if there were no headlights? Like, just close your eyes and imagine.
I like that idea.
I don't know, just seeing those shapes wrapped around. What if those big, graceful, curving fenders, like, were just, you didn't even have those headlight eyebrows.
Yeah.
During this process, one cannot be swayed by the ability to see in the dark. You know, it's like, does it look good or doesn't it? There's always a workaround.
Cut it!
Section A, where it's a flow with segment B.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm totally down with no headlights. I'm like, yeah, eliminate all the headlights. No headlamps whatsoever.
Here, open this.
And then he hands me headlights.
Look at that gem. Before we commit to a complete headlight delete, I brought out a few pieces for consideration. They're definitely small, but
Yeah, dude. They're all the same shapes. Triangular in the grill, triangular in the hood, and then the triangular in the lights. It's the same shape.
we can go multiple directions with this headlight situation. We're just gonna keep keeping on and see what happens. You know, the initial layout is here, and that's what I asked you to come by for, like the concept, right? I needed that cartoon brain to work with me, and I mean, this thing's way out of proportion. You know, I'm gonna put my twist on a few things, but I think Johnny and I have a strong representation of where this is going.
It's the funnest part of collaborating with you is just bringing out these crazy ideas.
I knew that your time was going to be pretty strict, and you see the amount of work it takes time-wise just to mock up what we did.
Right.
So
I like everything about it. I just don't like the fact I have to leave.
I think you should feel a lot better that you don't have to stay for the remainder of this.
Why, sure.
Quite frankly, I'll go to Florida,
Yeah.
I'll put on my work clothes, and you can handle all this. Don't take off that thinking cap just yet. We're getting in deep now. You know, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Fiberglass is a messy business. Working on our concepts, it starts with this, you know, steel strip mock-up structure. Start adding fiberglass, then go right into this heavy kitty hair, they call it, body filler. It's a long procedure. If you've done body work, you know it. Love this gigantic grill. It's a pretty radical design. I don't know if anybody else sees it, but I could see something, and I like it. There's two things that are really bugging me, and did I say bugging me? There's two things that are bothering me. There's no bug in this project. To me, these two bulges, you know, it's showing the VW hood. I think the next thing to do is get out the old saw and do some work. The VW is this bulbous hood coming down, and the Ford is very straightforward going into the grille. So this area where the VW meets the Ford, it's all gonna get cut out. So there's your problem right there. I think I'm going right for the cut on both sides. As if I didn't have enough sanding to do. You can just see what it's got to do. See that? Matches this curve, and that's going to roll right in. It's the same process as the rest of the car, you know, build a support structure, lay some fiberglass, and finish from there. A great man once said, the first cut is always the ugliest. And I concur. This arrowhead shape is growing from here to here. It always looks so raw in the mock-up. Here, it's a very tight curve. It's gonna be something more in that realm. And instead of trying to lay all this out, it's gonna start to distort these two. So I think I'm gonna create a drape of fiberglass. So this hood will come straight down and then just come in and create that curve. So my time weaving baskets in the Polynesian islands have given me this skill. Sometimes I'll do it in a herringbone pattern. It all depends how I'm feeling. This is your standard Easter basket pattern. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. You know, it's kind of like Disneyland, where it's not the happiest place on earth, it's the itchiest. A lot of times I'll lay the fiberglass on the car and then brush it in. But in this case, there's really nothing to push against. It's just gonna deform that web. So that's why the first piece I'm gonna wet right here and just hang it in place. See, these are just like stickers at this point. Man, I get so much flack about how I do fiberglass. Apparently, I'm doing something that's a little outside of the average. They scoff at my technique. It's really satisfying to see this radical departure from that VW hood. You know, that looked good, this looks gooder. So once this is rebuilt, this gets popped off, turned upside down, and all the stuff in there gets torn out. So it's just a one-piece fiberglass, as it was, as it should be. This whole nose job is definitely an improvement, but I got two even better ideas for the sides of the car. I think I'll tie it all together. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10 pieces to make this front clip. I feel like it needs something to tie it together. So everything about the styling from the late 30s, pretty much the VW followed with it, right? You had running boards on the car. Very reminiscent to that period of style. You know, it's the bubble fenders front and back, and then a big pronounced running board where the door jamb opens. So this car's got to follow suit. My first thought is let's continue that running board idea, but let's just bring them way out. I don't want it to be a hard bend. I want it to radius down. So it has that same kind of waterfall effect as the rest of the car, down, down. The challenge here is to keep this graceful, curvy flow through the whole design of the car. It's the story of my life. I want an end result, and I can't get there without just figuring it out. So nothing like some old school metal forming. Whatever it takes, by all means necessary. Try something. Told you it's got some force. Back in 3rd grade when I used to cut school, they used this thing. Taught me a lesson. I like that. So by using the wood to the wood, you don't have the real power to dent the metal. Just goes to show you, sometimes those 3rd grade punishments pay off. Now we're getting somewheres. I mean, look at the dimension now when you're looking at it. It's got dementia. Hey, sometimes you just luck out. This is exactly what I was envisioning. So fiberglass doesn't bond to steel very well. So usually what I do is I'll drill these holes through here, scuff it up really good. I'll laminate to it, and then later on the underside, bond it like that, almost like a plug weld. I don't even know if this works, but you can consider it another tip from Honest Ian's fiberglass service. I like the nostalgia. I like the fact that Ed Roth built a lot of cars like this. And again, that's the real beauty of this stuff. It's not rocket science. You can try this at home. These running boards really tied both sides together. The front to the rear, they got the same thing now. There's really something that I'm considering. It's kind of a big deal. It could be the make it or break it moment for this project. Been making some progress, you know, the filling out of the running board area under the doors totally works. Johnny and I were talking about the chop top on this. We laid that roof panel in place and it was all kind of up in the back. I brought it down a few inches. And that level, you know, it looked better. So I started to get into that door frame and I slanted the B-pillar. You know, it has that type of Merc lead sled feel to it. I went that route and really just started thinking, you know, in the look of it, like, could it be different? Could it be better? Is this really what I'm building? A station wagon? One thing I really love is I'm not afraid to change my mind about things. This is the way I roll. Like, no matter how deep you get, I'm always open to it. Like, well, what if, you know? I had to take the fiberglass roof cap off to do all this structure. It's way easier to reach in and do the welding and whatnot. Man, when I took the fiberglass roof off, it was a whole different car. I looked at the car and I was like, that thing looks fast. It looks so different. That big shape up here was not doing anything for the car. Look at this, like coupe roof. You know, it's almost like a Zephyr where it comes up and then bubbles up again. I forgot that I left the rear window frames in place. And when I looked at that with the slanted B-pillar, I was kind of knocked out. I wasn't expecting it. One thing I know is you can always go backwards on things, right? I just got this itch that needs scratching. The van roof, the wagon thing, it looks pretty cool, but what if? I had this idea, a revelation. This is a Dodge. I think it's about a 37, 38, 39, I don't know. And when I saw it, of course, I fell in love with this, you know, the giant sloping back. They're always my favorite body styles. I love this split window. It's a pretty unique vehicle. I don't want to do measuring. I don't want to do thinking about nothing. I want to cut this apart, place it on that bug. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Either way, if it doesn't fit that car, this car is on its way to a fresh chop top. It's a win-win. First things first is to remove those rear windows. Look at that, the glass goes in. Maybe I'll just cut the whole roof off with the windows in. I don't want to get in there. This thing was a chicken coop, mouse house, rat's nest. Could have been a damn Loch Ness monster in there for all I know. I think I could take this roof off in 3 notes. You might not believe me when I say I don't take a lot of measurements, but I don't really take a lot of measurements. That's how I roll. It's crazy how a car this big looks all structure, like a battleship, but it's just flimsy sheet metal in these elaborate arched shapes. Look at that thing. Ooh, it looks like a ghost ship. All right, all my grandiose ideas have led up to this. What we have here is considered a clean slate. Anything could happen from this point. That's nasty. That's just looking for trouble, this car. Holy guacamole. I think the Dodge designers had some inspiration from them VW designers. It's a match. A little of this, a little of that. I mean, look at this, right? Bang. Talk about a natural. Do you see the way that this convoluted brain works? Now, can you finally understand why I can't sleep at night? This came out way cleaner than I ever thought it would. Literal shot in the dark, right? It's a perfect fit. Truly lucking out. I think this is why I had that urge, because something deep inside said, do it. And I done did it. So this Type 3 engine is what I had planned for the van, but you see how far it's stuck out of the back. Type 1 will allow this deck lid to go on. Everything will be all right. This is working. Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. So these are the 3 pieces I'm working with. The original deck lid from the Dodge, this forward piece of the roof skin, and of course the rear piece of the roof skin. I want that kind of coupe feeling. I don't want it to be the fastbacks. Those back windows are unidentifiable in the Volkswagen world. I might even leave the Dodge emblem on the back just to really concern people. Every project needs some breakthroughs, and that's just what I got here. Next thing is to get this rear end figured out. I gotta tell you, this Dodge roof was a pretty solid donor. After all the trimming and fitting and everything, you can see, look at this contour. You know, it's still just very roughly tacked in place. You really notice it with the chop now. See this hard kind of transition? The VW dome comes up. It's a lot more in this area. This broad, flat plane really adds to the chopped look of the whole thing. The interesting thing about the car is in photos, it's gonna look awesome, right? Until you walk up on it, it's like, what? This thing's miniature. It seriously seems smaller every time you look at it. Next step is making that connection between the back windows and the roof skin to the deck lid. Got a good start on it, just gotta connect the dots. I've been using this same process of these strips through the whole project, and it works pretty well for this part of it too, even though this is all steel and getting welded together. To create this in one piece of steel will be pretty complex without a buck or anything to work off of, so using these strips, it allows me to create this flowing surface from this very flat glass into the deck lid, but then blend down so you have that waterfall effect that you see on all the Art Deco cars, you know. This roof swap might have been way late in the game, but I think it's much better for it. I just don't want to hear a bunch of PT Cruiser jokes. That's what it comes down to. Getting this fleshed out, I mean, it's gonna work. The coupe thing was sort of just a last-minute swap out of everything. So, you know, getting these 2 panels rough mocked up, I think it's gonna flow. Gonna need some kind of ventilation for the engine. That's kind of where I'm at next. This car actually had this stainless steel firewall you see a lot. Cut this out and take a look. I don't know, like if you get a little curve both ways. That's pretty slick. See the difference in reflective value? See how it's up here? So once that's painted, you're gonna have, man, such a smooth car, and then you run into this field of wavy things. Nothing worse than a field of wavy things. So we got this as well. This is the original VW vent. It already makes the sound like it belongs there. Sometimes offering up different parts doesn't really flow with the project per se. Custom might not always be the best answer. Reimagining some of the factory stampings kind of helps it flow a bit better. Decisions. See, these are flat, right? So it's like, if I put louvers there, it's gonna mess with the overall flow of that line, guaranteed. You got that when you want. What if it was up here? I would say it, but it goes without saying. That settles it. Let's get out the cutting materials. Part of using these stock vents also adds to the mystique. It's like, I don't identify that rear window as VW, but the vents are just like a VW. What's going on there? Aha! I will remove one worthless piece of sheet metal and replace it with another worthless piece. Ta-da! That's what I'm looking for. That works. This is where the fusion really takes place. You got the clearly identifiable VW vents in the same position as they would be on the Bug, but with a Dodge back window and roof. This is coming in. This looks a little bulgy now. I could tailor this, and that's really what I'm getting to is the final bits of modifications. Having this roof at such a different attitude, so all of a sudden the nose looks gigantic. The nose looks like it's pointing up into that sky. Again, it's not something I saw until I saw it. It's like the hood is like that, and the rest of the car is like that. Needs to be a happy medium. One of those big points from the mock-up with Johnny was this kind of shark nose appearance that the hood is having. It's always been kind of up, kind of snooty, and I want it to look a little down. That's exactly where this needed to go. Just a little bit down. Gotta say, this is feeling exactly like I was hoping. It's got the flow, it's got the windows, it's got the rake, it's got the nose, rims, tires, everything's looking good, man. It's not like any Volkswagen I've ever seen before. That was kind of the goal. There's a lot of finishing work, but it's almost there. The car will tell you what to do, right? So far, this thing's been tight-lipped. It ain't telling me nothing. It doesn't even know what it is. It's like, I thought I was a custom Volkswagen. Nope, the car's not saying a thing. I don't know. It's gonna take a little bit of thinking. I gotta say, there's nothing like a zillion hours block sanding to get the old blood pumping. Hoo-wee. Pretty much started down the center to the rear of the car and just got it all fit up. Yeah, the biggest trouble was getting this grille on the front. Physically, the Ford car is so much bigger than a Bug, so I cut the bottom of that up, and then I cut the top to get that hood to come down. And now finally, you know, the hood has got a light arc down. It's pointy like the grille. Everything's different. The biggest challenge of this nose piece was to get the contour of that Ford grille coming right into the A-pillar area. And yeah, we changed everything, but it works. The grille follows with that height. So even though it's all deleted and smooth, it's still proportional. Building a project like this, it takes a lot of material. ITW Evercoat brought in all that kitty hair and the body filler to help me realize this vision. We shaved off all the drip rails. Something about the way the stock door came up. It was a square top, and it just bugged me, you know? With no drip rail now, it just flows right around. It's a pretty drastic change from the station wagon Johnny and I were creating. I call this like the ghost, right? When it's just in pure white primer and it has no features. It's got no real attitude yet. It's just gotta be straight, all the same color. My whole goal here is to get this thing block sanded and get it into primer, you know, be able to see the actual body surface refined to something that's almost paintable. That's one of the nice things about Volkswagens. You can put them on moving dollies. Whoa! Since we got the top side looking good, the next step is to raise this up and pull out all that armature that Johnny and I put under there. All those metal straps, there's a bunch of screws, there's some tape, might even be a sweatshirt in there, I don't know. It's gotta be tidy, top to bottom. Can you dig it? This project's been a good example of the adaptability of fiberglass forming. Aha! We literally threw the kitchen sink and a bunch of other stuff at it and, gooed it all together to a refined finish. With everything pulled out from underneath, no one else will know what happened, except you and I. Pretty much it. I think I'll just do a little fill-in and undercoat these. Once I got the underneath cleaned out, I got the exterior refined, and this thing's looking like a whole different specimen. This is the point I was trying to get to. All that thought, the radical change from the station wagon to this, I am stoked. I think this typifies like my style, right? It's cartoony, it looks like a big toy. Got these radical proportions. I mean, dare I say, it's got a bit of a street rod feel to it, It's all smooth, there's no fender welt, it's all blended together, there's no drip rails. It looks like a big plastic car. It is a big plastic car, who am I kidding? It's low, it's nose down. It's almost not a Volkswagen. The hardest part with this entire project was right in here. You can see how flat the Dodge roof gets. I needed this to bunch up so that the engine fit in there. So I came up with this kind of panel. It kind of goes down, and then you see the trunk lid area. But I wanted this impossible kind of wedge-shaped rear. The case of these rear vents is a clear example of kind of winging it. When you change one thing, you change everything, so you got to adapt as you go. A lot of people probably be asking, why is there only one door handle? Because this is invitation only. You want entry? Hello? We just freestyled the whole deal. I had this scrap VW Bug, this kooky artist from the East Coast. I was like, hey man, let's figure it out. Naturally, two big shout outs are in order, right? This does not happen solo. Johnny Jalopy came in and slammed it. Got that concept and all the creative elements flowing. Alan Banuelos, the unsung hero, the dude with the 36 grit, 80, 120, 200 hours? I don't know. All it took. A nice little weekend project to just pass some time with a friend. And here we are, no fingertips. 500,000 sheets of sandpaper. We finished the bodywork. We put a good coat of primer with a little color tint in it just to give it a little flair. Mocked up the windows, got the lights in place. The stance, that's on for me. Pretty tasty. This is just another example of the universe that we're creating here. Why not? Why can't you make a lowrider, street rod, Volkswagen from another dimension? I really want to take my time with this. This thing's going into cold storage for a bit, but it's not going to sit there long. Get on to a couple other projects and visit this later.